Hello there guys, it's me Unstable Voltage. Welcome to episode 20 of Civilization 5 as Babylon. I pieced out with Rome just at the end of the last video. It was originally my intention to try and take Buffalo Creek, but they just keep throwing units at me and I've already lost a machine gun and 2 artillery, so I thought it was probably best time to peace out with them, give myself a little bit of time to repair and recover. And Hiawatha's the biggest threat at the moment, so we need to be careful with that. Just need to make sure we're not at war. Yeah, there's a couple of city-states that it says we're at war with that we shouldn't really be. So, Ragusa. Apparently I'm at war with Ragusa and have been for a while. So, we need to go and... Oh no, apparently we are at peace, they're just hostile. Research agreement with Austria. Probably not a bad idea. We don't have a huge amount of money, but we do want to get ahead and stay ahead with science, so we'll carry on doing that. We need our happiness to recover as well. We've discovered biology. Do we have any oil? No, of course we don't. Oh, actually, we do. Got oil over here. Guys can deal with that after the railroad. There's another one there. So we've got 2 sources of oil. We have 10 oil. That'll be enough. Okay, choose a new research. What do we want to go for? Let's just try and rush up into radar. Get ourselves the better planes. That might make or break this game for us. We don't need to worry about anti-air too much. As for everything else, we're just going to sit around a little bit and allow them to recover. Going to war with Hiawatha is going to be really, really difficult. The only thing he isn't ahead of me on is science. I could potentially still get a scientific victory. I just get the feeling that if I try and go to war with him, it's going to end badly because he has the largest army. Although he didn't seem to be making too much of a progress against Rome, I really don't think I can take him on at this point, and I'm not sure that I want to risk it. I can't steal from him though, so I definitely want to bring my spy back. So let's move you in. In fact, let's go and find ourselves a city-state, a mercantile city-state, because we want to try and get ourselves some extra income. So we've got Vilnius. Where are you, Vilnius? 75 influence with Austria. Maybe we can sort that out. So let's take our spy out of Onondaga and move you to Vilnius. It'll give us a little bit more happiness if we can get them on our side. As for everybody else, I think we'll just stay down here for now, because if anybody attacks me, it is likely to be Rome. What was here before? This was just a hill, I believe. So let's go ahead and start working on some of these units. We'll just put everything else on alert for now. We'll see what Arretium starts building next. I do want to turn it into a city that I have control of, but while they're building the walls, which is definitely something that we should have, I'll allow them to carry on. I'm hoping Rome does push back a little bit against Onondaga. It might slow him down, but I think what I'm going to try and do is just rush a tech victory. I think that's my my best chance of a win at the moment. So we'll see how that goes. Where exactly is an enemy near? Up there. Why is this an enemy? Because I'm still at war with you guys and I shouldn't be. There we go. That's fine. Just, yeah, sometimes when it's red, you never know whether you're hostile or at war. You guys are, well, a railroad would actually be bloody useful, but right now I want you to construct a mine, and yes, I know that will improve, remove the citadel. And then we want to get the cattle connected up, and then, yeah, there's no point having these citadels here. They're a complete and utter waste of time. We also might want to, yeah, we want to get the oil connected up. We also want to grab the, get some archaeologists and try and grab the antiquity sites. I don't think I'm going to bother with tourism now. There seems very little point. I'm just going to try and get as much culture as possible. So we'll try and turn them into cultural sites if we can. Babylon, are you working our... Well, I've got to wait until all the animations are finished. It's annoying when I'm not actually the one at war and I get to sit here and watch all the animations. I could put it on quick animation, but... Celts are having their turn. So we still do have some happiness, but not an awful lot. Have another great scientist in 20 turns. I'm just going to keep popping them now. It's a little bit late in the game to do anything else. Okay, I can have my turn now. Awesome. Right, so, yep, we are working that academy. We're working all the academies. So our science output should be pretty epic. Would be nice if we could grow a little bit. 12 turns for the lab. 17 turns to growth. It does seem better doing it that way. Unit needing orders. You're just working on the railroad. We'll do... Well, actually, let's get the oil connected first. Then we'll go back and finish off the railroad there. Also, of course, I am actually down a worker because I did lose one of them to Rome, which is a little bit unfortunate. So hopefully I can... well, do I need another one? Possibly. Yeah, like I'm giving you open borders. Nobody gets open borders. Right, no battle going on over here now. Have they pieced out? No, still at war with the Iroquois. Obviously just don't have any units around. Okay, let's go ahead and get the oil well there. Caravan. Where are you going to? Or where were you going to? Might as well continue to graze. It's the best gold that you're getting in that direction. Just trying to spread my caravans out a bit. I know I could probably get better trade routes from my other cities, but the problem is every time I end up at war with somebody, most of my caravans get wrecked because they trade through somebody else's territory. I'm still ahead of tech, but well behind on everything else. And in fact, on happiness, I'm the worst. Which, to be honest, I'm not surprised about. So, you're working on a caravansary. We don't really need that. So I'm going to go ahead and annex the city now. That will cause unhappiness. That I am aware of. That's because we need to get a courthouse. So we're going to stop with that caravansary. We are going to go on to production focus. We're going to get that as quickly as possible. After that, we want a monument. We want a granary. We want possibly a castle. Then an aqueduct. Do we want the shrine? There really isn't any point because we've already got a lot of faith points that we have nothing we can spend on. So let's go on to the next turn. And I think we're just going to see Rome's trading with us already. I think we're just going to have a few turns of just trying to maximise our production. Of course, going into unhappiness doesn't help with that, but it does mean that we can get building some stuff over here. So Shaka's declared war on Ethiopia. Ethiopia only has one city, so I'm guessing they're going to get wiped out here. On to the next turn again. Going to be quite a bit of this. We are working on Neuschwanstein. I don't know whether or not we're going to be able to get it. I really hope we can. That will certainly help some of the happiness issues. Of course, it will be dependent on building castles everywhere, but you can see Neuschwanstein starting to appear. Certainly getting the job done. What are we working on over here? You're just working on a research lab too. Getting research labs is definitely going to help with the science. So I think we just try and defend ourselves. We've got our fourth city. We've reclaimed our land from Rome. Hopefully they'll leave us alone a little bit. But we just want to try and get some production if we can. No, we don't need open borders. Don't need you stealing all of my antiquity sites, because that's exactly why you want open borders. You've got this guy over here, and you're probably trying to get to that. So you can go and do one. Not falling for that one at all. I may take this guy and work on the oil straight away. We are definitely going to need to get some planes, as well as archaeologists. We do have 1, 2... 3. We've got this one. This is actually out of range, so that would have to be an artifact. But we do have 2 antiquity sites that are in range to make them into a cultural landmark, so that's fine. Go on to the next turn again, because still not an awful lot we can do. And happiness is a big problem at the moment. It is down to -8. Of course, if it drops down to -10, we could start getting rebels, which we don't want. Rome has upgraded to infantry. You want to go to war with Shaka? I'm sure you do, but you're that far away from him, unless he's got something close to you on the opposite side. You're probably not really going to do an awful lot about him. You want to keep buying citrus? That is fine. Does anybody else have anything that they're willing to sell me? No. That's unfortunate. Yeah, happiness is going to be our big problem. I do think I was a little bit unlucky on this map. because there doesn't seem to be an awful lot of unique luxury resources around. And that's certainly slowed things down a little bit. Let's go straight on to the next turn. Courthouse will be finished in Arretium. That will help with the unhappiness slightly, but not hugely. Well, the Iroquois are definitely still at war with Rome, because Rome is now firing at Ragusan units. Doesn't look like Ragusa are going to get anywhere. So this is the other problem I've got if I go to war with the Iroquois. They've got so many city-states around on their side that I wouldn't just be fighting Hiawatha and his army. I'd be fighting all of the city-states that he's friendly with as well. So I really just don't think that going to war with them is a very good idea. Back down to only -3 unhappiness. Now, it would be nice to go and finish something else here. What have we got? We do have a couple of research agreements. But I think it might be better to try and get some happiness here. We don't... Well, National Wonders we're not too bad on. We don't have arsenals and military bases. We will be building some castles, but I think National Wonders probably going to be slightly better for us. Let's go ahead and take that. Puts us into +2. So at least we don't have any unhappiness at the moment. I would like to finish Rationalism. I think that's going to be helpful to me, especially if I'm trying to get this military victory. See, it looks like Hiawatha's falling slightly behind on tech. I mean, he's not short of money. He's got 6,500 gold. So that cannon there, if he'd have had the tech to upgrade it to artillery, I'm sure he would have done. But he still seems to be using cannons. There is Ethiopia wiped out with the look of things. Yep, they're gone from the list, so that's Ethiopia finished off. So, I honestly, as much as I would love to take on Ondaga because he has so many fantastic wonders in there, I honestly don't think I could take it. Maybe if I built up a massive army of artillery and sort of moved in and tried to take it in a couple of turns and then instantly peace out, but it's very unlikely that plan would work. Well, we finished the research lab over here. Don't have any happiness buildings that I can build here, which is a little bit of a pain. Am I all that bothered about things like the Artists Guild and Musicians Guild at this point? It seems a little bit pointless. So let's go ahead and, well, we'll get a caravan out and then we'll work on an archaeologist. We do need to rebuild these caravans. We might need some money to purchase some buildings and things as time goes on. So let's try and stay out of wars. Obviously, I'm going to keep the units I've got. I'm also going to rebuild a little bit of an army. Now, you want to buy my citrus. Do you want to give me 7 gold per turn for my citrus? Then you can go away. I'm sure they're not unhappy. It's not like they need it. Ah, England had Wales just for a moment there, and I missed out. I was unable to get that deal with England. That's a bit of a shame. But I don't need 2 gold per turn from Rome. Screw them. Ideology adopted. That was the Zulus adopting autocracy. Need to have a look at that, actually. So, autocracy is still... even the Zulus have dissidents, but autocracy is still the best one to go by a long shot, so it's probably a good reason enough to stay that way. Do I want to go and get this oil connected up? I think I probably should. That makes the most sense. You guys hopefully... Well, you got to clear the marsh first. I think they've just cleared the marsh. Now they're building the oil well. That'll allow us to get some planes. Only 4 turns away from electronics. Now, electronics directly doesn't help us. There's no point having battleships or carriers. We don't have anything coastal since we lost our city up here, which we could rebuild. I mean, there's nothing to stop me going and dropping a settler up here. Although that there is where our original city would have been. We could still try and take Manila, but it doesn't seem a lot of point at this stage of the game, to be honest. Could potentially drop a city here on this tile. That would give us a coastal city, but again, not a lot of point in doing it. The Celts have declared war on Rome. Zulus have denounced England. The Celts have denounced the Zulus. We've got our salt back. Fantastic. That helps with the happiness. We're obviously selling it to Austria. Okay, that all seems fair enough. So what are we doing here? You guys are going to... Do we already have an oil well there? Oh, there is already an oil well. So Rome must have already built it. Oh, well, in that case, we'll go over here and we'll get the cattle reconnected then. I should have looked. It says I have 3 oil, and I know I hadn't built the oil well over here. It just never occurred to me that Rome had already done it. So, oh, we do have a 3rd antiquities site. We have this one over here. Obviously, this one's in a lot of danger of being pillaged. At least Shaka's now the same ideology as us, which means he's less likely to declare war on us. So that's a good thing. Making some money again now. 9 turns until we get another great scientist. We've got a couple of research agreements in the bag. Unfortunately, it will be 58 turns until we get our next social policy, which is a very, very long time away. I'm making no culture at all in this game. Maybe I do need to get the... Maybe I do need to get things that give me culture, like the guilds. Let's go ahead and get the Musicians Guild. Assign delegates. World Religion don't really want. International Games we'll go for with all our might. I don't have a lot of production, but we might be able to get the silver reward still. How are we doing with Neuschwanstein? 19 turns. City is about to grow, so we might be able to take that down a little bit. Let's go ahead and make a pasture, and yeah, I'm aware that it'll get rid of the citadel. That's kind of the point. Of course, getting railroads connected up everywhere will help with the production problem. So remember, roads give you gold, and then railroads give you production. As well as, of course, being able to move your units around more quickly. And that's the Kremlin. At least it wasn't Neuschwanstein. You want to go to war with Austria. No interest in doing that. Austria has denounced Rome, but of course you're really too far away from them for them to be a threat to you, so that's fine. Work has begun on a castle. International Games passes, World Religion fails. That was expected. This place has grown in size. Again, you don't have a lot of real decent production tiles. You could work this one, I suppose. Get rid of the 1 food and 3 food and 1 hammer for 1 food and 3 hammers. It really slows your growth down, but it does speed your building up. You're working on the archaeologist, I think. What was the International Games? 2nd silver medal is 1-time increase of 30 influence with the city-states plus 3 happiness. And you get plus 3 happiness from bronze as well, so you get plus 6 happiness. So we definitely do want to work on the International Games, and I'm actually going to... Oh, we've got Arretium here as well, of course. You can work on the International Games, and... did I actually put you to the top? No, I didn't. And Babylon, you're going to work on the International Games as well before the Musicians Guild, so we'll see if we can actually do any of that. I'm not even going to attempt to aim for gold here. I guess you were probably going to Ethiopia or something. As I'm not planning to go to war for a while, let's go and have a look and see where I can get the most gold. And that would be Babylon to... we're already working it. So, Arretium to Rome. A little bit risky, but let's go ahead and do that then. So, we'll move you to Arretium. And hopefully Rome will leave us alone for a bit. He is trading with us. And I'm going to keep all these guys down on the border, because if anybody attacks me, it will be Rome. He is, of course, the same ideology as us now, which will reduce the chance of him attacking, but it won't eliminate it completely, so we do have to be careful on that. And we're just going to have to rely on our unique ability. Just keep popping out great scientists as often as we can. Just popping them, try and get ahead in tech, and hopefully see if I can get the spaceship parts built before any of the AI get another victory. Peace treaty is expired with... is that Shaka? Oh no, it's with Rome. That's ended already. Can't steal from Rome. Well, I'm aware of that, but I'm certainly going to keep my eye on him. Arretium has grown. We should be really concentrating on the tiles here. Again, we don't have a lot of happiness, so... Let's go ahead and just uncheck all of these tiles for the moment, just so that we can work the best ones manually. So... anything that has 4 food and 1 production is going to be good. 3 food, 2 production will be good. 4 food, 1 production. 3 food, 2 production. We do want to try and grow it if we can. The mine we might as well, because we get a lot of production from that. We are still stagnating, but we've got a lot of people there. So, farms and farms. We'll go ahead and work the pasture. We'll work the citrus. Can we not work the citrus? Yeah, we can work the citrus. What else have we got? One person left. We are still growing. 2 food and all of those will work the oil. So that should be fairly good. Gives us a bit more production for the international games. Did you randomly get pushed out of there for some reason? That's odd. Just move you out of the way. Maybe it's because the caravan got moved there. Yeah, quite possibly. So you are going to go... It's actually saying Rome's the highest gold now. Is that where it said before? Did I misread it? No, Arretium to Rome. Okay, fine. And we'll get a little bit of extra science there. We should be top on terms of science output quite easy at the moment. This caravan will just continue to Grand River. We're not actually getting any science back from Hiawatha, so Hiawatha doesn't appear to be very far ahead in terms of science at all. In fact, if we go and have a look here... you have discovered 3 technologies that Hiawatha does not know. So we are a little bit ahead. Not massively, but bear in mind we're about to get another great scientist. We still have... you want to buy citrus from me? And you'll buy it outright. Would you be willing to swap it for your silk, sir? When did you suddenly get all these extra things, and why can't I see them? Why aren't they showing here as being available for purchase? Because he has something else there that I could get from him as well. That's really weird. Obviously, you can't rely on this mod too much. We'll wait until this turn is over, and I'll go back and have a look. Got a little bit of gold coming in, so I might be able to go and... You want to buy salt from me? I'm going to say no. Because I think that's my only copy of salt. It is my only copy of salt. I do have a spare citrus, though. If anybody wants it. Which, to be honest, they probably don't now. It's certainly not showing that anybody wants it. Well, Rome wants it, actually. But he's probably only willing to give me 2 gold a turn. I suppose there's no reason not to sell it to him. If I can't sell it to anybody else, it's a little bit pointless. So, we'll go in there. Let's do mutual embassies first. Let us then... Citrus, what will you give me for it? How about you give me 4 gold per turn? Yeah, maybe I could have asked for 5 and got away with it there, but that's still better than nothing. Hiawatha, you have some whales that you weren't telling me about. How about I give you 9... Well, you take less than 9 gold per turn as you're super duper friendly and we're the same ideology. No, you only go for 9, don't you? Well, there we go. That helps out with happiness a little bit now. We're up to 18. You can go back into the city. This is actually quite good, because it now means when I get my next social policy, I can just go ahead and spend it in rationalism. I don't need to worry too much about spending it in my ideology. That may be the wrong decision, but we'll see how things go. New research agreement between some... Wow, friendship with Shaka. I'm going to say no, because it seems a little bit silly. England and Austria have signed a research agreement. 14 turns on our research agreement with Hiawatha. Babylon loves the king, because obviously now we have got the whales there, which is what they wanted. How are we doing in terms of this? It's 22% completed, and we've only put in 301 hammers, so it might be difficult trying to get the gold, but we'll definitely try. You can go to sleep, because there's not a lot else you can do. We'll go on to the next turn, and the next turn will be the last turn, because we are kind of over time. Yeah, he doesn't like as much. I'm still hoping he doesn't attack. He may do. So certainly why I'm keeping all of my units down here, because if he does attack me, he's got to come from Buffalo Creek or Satia. So I'm just going to keep all of my units here, and hopefully I can hold him off if he does attack, but hopefully he won't attack. Ragusa cancels its quest. And of course he's still at war with a lot of other people, so it might be a little bit silly if he does choose to. Akkad has grown. Again, not a particularly useful city. I think what I might do here is queue up the Artist Guild in this one after the Archaeologist, because we're working so many tiles that are just helping us grow, but not really helping with an awful lot else. We should definitely be working the Research Lab and Public School, though, and just maximising our science output here. What are we getting from the science from here? 151, which is quite significant at this stage, even at this stage of the game. I will just do one final turn, because it seems to be traditional for the last video of the week. Well, Hiawatha definitely has artillery now, because he's just used one to fire at that Roman Great War Infantry. A lot of processing going on. City-state turn. Looks like nothing particularly exciting happened on that turn. Not friendly with a single city-state at the moment. International Games update, that means that, well, 46% of the way complete. We're up to 471 hammers. We may just scrape it. It might be difficult, and in fact, I really don't want to give up any turns on Neuschwanstein. But I am kind of tempted to put in just a couple. Can we get any more production out of these other cities if we just slow down our food growth completely? That would be starvation. We already are on production focus. Really not convinced we could get a huge deal more out of them. Is there anything that's working? Just a couple of food? See, even that would be starvation. That's going to be tricky. On top of that, I really want to work the research lab as well, but even that would leave us starving. Yeah, definitely want to work that. It's like the best food tile we have. Yep, I think what I'm going to have to do is put just a couple of turns into it in this city. And hopefully that'll be enough. But that is something for another video. So, thanks a lot for watching, guys. Hope you're still enjoying Civilization 5 as Babylon. And I will see you next time. Until then, goodbye for now.